I'm Yashima White, Ozzy Love, and thank you for joining me for yet another installment of Women Who Empower. This week I had the opportunity to speak with Ellen Peterson, an executive coach of numerous senior level executives throughout the Delaware Valley, and we spoke about a topic that we can all relate to. If you're a female executive in the boardroom or a stay-at-home mom, we all understand the woes of our schedules. Are you managing your schedule, or is your schedule managing you? This is Yashima White, Ozzy Love, and thank you for tuning in to a Woman of the Week series. This week, I am excited to welcome Ellen Peterson to the studio with me. Ellen Peterson of Ellen Peterson Coaching and Consulting is a coach for senior high-level executives throughout the Delaware Valley, and is absolutely known for being really phenomenal with change management and leadership, and I'm personally proud that she was my executive coach during a season of my corporate life. So welcome to the studio.
Thank you for having me.
This week, I'm telling you, this is one of those topics that every time I spoke to a group of women over the past week, they were like, oh, we cannot wait for this show. And it is about time management and ensuring that women, particularly executive women and women who call themselves women who are empowered, really understand how to live an empowered life through their schedule. Why is it so difficult for us to actually manage our schedules?
Well, the first thing to think about, Yashima, is for all of us, there are only 24 hours in a day. And what you find is the most high-achieving, go-get-em women are the ones that seem to have lots of things on their to-do list, lots of interests, lots of priorities, and lots of people that count on them. So the first thing I like to think about is, how do you empower yourself? You know, what are your goals? And it starts with, we all have the same challenges. The world is moving quickly. We've got jobs, we've got families, we've got lots of things that we never seem to get to. But it starts with a self-inventory and really starting from within. And if your inside world is clear and you have a vision for yourself and you can engage the people around you and what that is, then your outside world will run a little bit more on time.
Now that's interesting. Now most people talk about time management and go directly to all of the Outlook tricks, all the Lotus Notes tricks that you can have. But you're saying, in order to say that you're an empowered woman and you're living an empowered life, that you actually need to focus on self first. And it's kind of managing what those goals and priorities are. And that's the first step?
Absolutely. And in fact, Yashima, that's the myth. We're all sold that you use Outlook, and there are a million different options there for doing that. That's actually step 3 or 4. Outlook is only as good as the person that input the information. And I will also say, it's not only what goes on Outlook, it's what comes off. So you've got to start with saying, what's important to me? And then look at how you do triage. So if I know I have a job, I know I've got these kids' activities, then I've got to look at all the people around me that are becoming either time wasters, so people at work that seem to be scheduling me for the same ad nauseum meetings.
Yes.
You really got to take a good hard look at yourself and then go back a couple of months, just if you've used Outlook or any kind of calendar, and do an assessment. So how have you been spending your time? Just notice. Just notice. What are the trends and who are the people? And then go back to, is this right? Given what my goals are, have I been spending my time the right way? And then start thinking about how to prioritize and how to cut.
That makes a lot of sense to me. I always say, if you go back on your calendar and you're not on it, then something's wrong with your scheduling.
That's another really important. And in order for you to be on it, what you're going to find is you're probably going to have some difficult conversations. Either with people who aren't focused when they come to you. So the example is having a work meeting with somebody over and over and over, where you're just not sure why you really needed the meeting, why you were there, what came out of it. So that's one thing to really look at. Or people that simply take liberties with your calendar.
Love that. And we all have that.
We all have that. And then the second thing I think is that women who are empowered tend to take on more than they should. They really want to get everything right.
Superwoman complex, huh?
Superwoman.
How do we start dealing with that? I think when you get to a certain level in your career, And it's the level that we all aspire to at some point, right? We hit that, or we're on our corporate climb, and we really believe that we can have it all. And I tell people, I believe you can have it all, but you just can't have it all at the same time. So what do we say when we become our own hindrance? We are our stumbling block because we really envision ourselves as superwomen.
Absolutely, and I think it starts with getting real with yourself and saying, look, I want my kids to be on time for school, but am I the only person
Who can
that
take them?
can take them, can do the lunch?
Yes.
And what happens if I let somebody, i.e. my husband, figure out what they're wearing, and they're wearing dots and stripes? Or how much is that really a problem? You really have to get honest with yourself and saying, unless you really say, okay, this is on my A list, I really want to take my child to school. But B list might be getting the support, having either the child make their own lunch, talk to them about what it might look like so they're actually eating it, which would be another great thing, or having your husband or somebody else help participate, or do the grocery shopping. That's another big one.
Now, you know, you're tapping into something, and this is this notion that if we don't do it, it won't get done well. And I think that might be another scheduling conflict, because you're saying, hey, plan A may be me doing it myself, but there is a viable plan B that says someone else is quite capable. So how do we begin to kind of shed light on, when we really introspect, we're not the only ones that can get it done?
You know, that's exactly where that introspection and getting real with yourself comes into play. I noticed you used the word, we're the only ones that can do it well.
Yes.
If you looked at your standards, you'd say, because I want it done with all of this criteria. And then you look back and you think, oh my God, and I should be walking on water too, because for me to get done what I have to get done, and if I'm the only person that can meet these standards. So the question is to really calibrate, what is that important? So what is at the top of the list that I really do feel is urgent? So for instance, it may be that picking out your child's school, interacting with the teachers, these are things that absolutely you want to do, you want to have a say in, you want to be a part of. But you look at some of those secondary, and we've all been there. You know, how important? Is it important to us? Is it important to the child? And what's the big picture?
Yeah.
You know, and are they having fun, and am I having fun?
And that's important.
If you're not, I would say it's how you show up. If you show up in a way that you feel good about yourself, then your children, your coworkers, your boss feel good about you. So it starts from within.
I love that, how you show up. Oprah often uses this terminology, are you present in the moment? And you're saying it's how you show up. And I think we're saying the same thing, is that you can be at an event, or you can be in a meeting, but it doesn't mean you're really there. So the how you show up is really your personal brand. Being present is my mind, body, and spirit here. Am I really giving all to this situation? And sometimes our calendars are so cluttered that although we are physically there, we're really not showing up.
Exactly, and we're not showing up in the way we'd like to show up.
Right.
If the cameras were following you around and we're able to see both the inside and the outside, are the two of those in concert? Are you looking like you're feeling? And I would say too that ultimately the way you feel is the way you project.
Yes.
And the key is to have a schedule and a life that suits you, so that when you are someplace, you can be present, be positive, take it in, because life is about the journey.
Absolutely. Well, thank you personally, because you've helped me to my journey, to this transition in my life, and you were so instrumental in that. So I get to tell the Delaware Valley, Ellen Peterson, the executive coach, okay, of all executive coaches. So thank you for being with us on today. And ladies, you heard a recurring theme, and we've been talking about it. It really starts with you. So one day at a time, stop yourself, breathe, and know that you're the one that's in control of that schedule. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is Yashima White, Ozzy Love, and you've just been empowered.